changing lives.
Welcome to another exciting episode of Real Talk here at the studios of Hope TV Ghana. My name is Evie, the usual host for the show, and today, as usual, we have a very interesting topic on our table to discuss. But before I go into all that, I'd like to remind you that we are live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana, and we want the conversation to be very interactive, and so we encourage you to go on there, leave your comments, your thoughts, your suggestions as we discuss the story or as the program goes on. I'm sure you've heard about the topic that we are going to discuss. The interesting thing about today's story is that it is a power-packed story. I call it power-packed because it has so many topics in there. We are going to look at genotype, we are going to look at abortion, we are going to look at staying in a relationship that does not serve you. We are also going to look at lying to yourself, how to forgive yourself, and how to move on. And I'm sure you've probably heard around genotype. Genotype, what is it about? And I'm sure most people usually confuse it with blood groups, because I've asked people what is your genotype and they said, O positive, O negative. But we are going to look briefly into that to educate ourselves what it is about and how it affects you, your future children, etc. And we are going to look at the main issue in this story, which is a little concerning for me because the individual who sent it seems very lost, and we are hopefully going to help her find her way out of this very terrible situation that she finds herself in. As usual, I do not have the conversation by myself. I have in the studio amazing panelists that join me, people that are experts in their fields, people that are going to share with us great information and facts. And so I'm going to go straight ahead and introduce them to you. To my immediate right, I have Mrs. Margaret Addo, who is a senior medical laboratory scientist at the Bawe Hospital. Margaret, how are you doing?
I'm doing well. Yourself?
I'm fine. It's good to have you in the studio.
Good to be here.
Yeah. But how has your week been?
It's been great so far. A little stress here and there, but we are thankful for life.
Yeah, we are. Thank you so much for coming on the show.
Thank you.
And next to Margaret is Miss Ada Kona. She's an educationist and cybersecurity analyst. Good evening and welcome to the show.
Good evening, Evie.
Yeah, how are you doing?
Fine, thank you.
Yeah.
And you?
I'm fine, thank you. Your title is very interesting for me. When they say cybersecurity analyst, all we think about is catching people on the internet, from you know those things. Is that what it is?
There is more to it than just that.
Okay.
It's also about protecting your own information. So if you want to narrow it down, I have my phone. My pictures, my data on my phone, my information. How do I protect it so that maybe you cannot even have access to it?
Okay.
Yes, so it's a lot.
Yeah.
But just that we always look at one side, but it's broader than that.
We do.
Yeah.
It's a very interesting field. I'm sure offline I would ask a little more questions.
Sure, you're welcome.
Yeah, thank you so much. Okay, so we are going to go straight into our story so that we can start the conversation. It says, "Dear Real Talk, I lied about my genotype, but how do I let go now? I am 24 years old. I am dating a 34-year-old man for 4 years. In the beginning, it felt perfect. Just 6 months into the relationship, he introduced me to his family. That made me feel safe, like he was serious about us. I thought, finally, someone who means what he says. But over time, things started to change. In these 4 years, I have gotten pregnant 6 times, and each time he begged me to have an abortion. He said he wasn't ready. He said he was still hustling, but I couldn't understand. This man lives comfortably, has his own place, and doesn't look like someone who is struggling. Yet every time he would cry, plead, and promise me that marriage was coming. Just wait, be patient. And every time I listened, I loved him. I believed him. But with each abortion, a part of me died. The last one almost killed me. I bled for hours and thought I wouldn't make it. But the deepest pain, it's not just the abortions. It's the secret I am still hiding. He once told me he was AS, I knew what that meant. So I went to check my genotype too, and I found out I am AS as well. I should have told him, but I didn't. I lied and told him I was AA. I even faked a lab report just to keep him. Why? Because after all these years, all the abortions, all the pain, all the waiting, who else would I go to? No, I want to risk telling the truth now. I've always told him to protect himself, but he doesn't listen. He still keeps getting me pregnant, and I keep having to clean up the mess. So I'm just playing smart. If I don't lie, if I don't hold on, he will leave me. And for his weakness, we will all suffer together. I know what I have done. I know it's wrong. But what choice do I have? I love him, but I'm trapped in a lie that may cost all of us. So that's the story we have on our table today. Like I said, it's a sad one. But let me come to you, Margaret, and ask, what is genotype? You know, I've heard people say, oh, and with confidence, I'm B positive. And you're asking, okay, what is this about? So in layman's term, what is genotype?
Okay, so it's everything about our genetic makeup, how we are made up, the traits we pick up from both parents right from birth. That goes into our genotype. So the genotype itself is a broad thing. Okay. Because the moment you are born, you pick something from your mother, you pick something from your father, and the two come together to form you as a being. Okay. And so we have 50 or 30 from here. We pick the two and then we merge them together. Okay. So the genetic traits we are picking is all the things that has to do with the genotype. Okay. Yes, but when we go in there, so when you meet somebody, ask the person his or her genotype, and the person says O positive, outrightly the person isn't wrong, neither is the person right, because our blood group also is embedded in the genotype, right? Because it's formed from both parents coming together to give us the genes, and that is what is passed down onto us. Okay. So our blood group isn't something we just pick up. Right. It is that of our parents put together, and we get our blood group. So it's also something genetic. Okay. So, but in our layman term, when we talk about genotype, we are looking at the genetic disorder like sickle cell disease or the sickle cell trait. Okay. That is what we are talking about when we are talking about genotype. Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So when we come to the one that we know, which is the sickle cell trait or sickle cell disease, what are the types out there? I know AA, I know AS, I heard AC recently. That was very interesting for me.
Okay, so we have the normal hemoglobin, which is the A. Okay. So somebody can be AA. Okay. Another person can also be a carrier of the sickle cell trait, which is the AS. Okay. Another person can also be AC. And when somebody is AC, we consider the C as the abnormal hemoglobin that a person has, because we know that A is the normal hemoglobin. Any other thing that attaches to the A is seen as the abnormal one. Okay. So somebody can be AA, somebody can be AS, somebody can be AC. We can also have somebody SC or SS. Okay. So we have different types, and what you have is what goes a long way to tell us what we should expect when you do the labs. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Is there a difference between the S and the C? Yes. So the S is the one that we would say somebody who has the S is seen as a carrier. Okay. But somebody who has expressing both S when observed under when the test is done, we say that that person has the disease. Okay. So somebody who is SS is a sickle cell disease patient. The person has the disease. Okay. But when somebody has AS, the person is just a carrier of the condition. That is what goes into
it. So is SC also the person has the disease?
Yes, the person has the disease.
I see.
Yes.
I see. That's interesting. And I'm guessing that there are levels to how serious the disease is. So between an SC and an SS, who would we say has it more?
So it varies. We have some SCs that do not show any signs and symptoms. Wow. They go about life normally. But we also have other SCs that also present conditions and symptoms just like SS. Yes, so being SC doesn't put you on the safer side. It still exposes you to a lot of things, just like somebody who is SS would be exposed to. Yeah.
So then, are we right to say that with SS, you would definitely have symptoms of the disease? You can't go about life.
Yes, you would show symptoms and you would experience a lot of things that would clearly give you out as an SS patient.
I see. And like you said, this is something that we take from both parents.
Yes, so our makeup, what we get from our parents, both male and female, come together to give us our when we do the HB that's a test we do to identify what type of genes you have, especially for the genotype on that case. We would do it, and then you are expected that if you're coming from parents that are both AA, your mother is AA, your father is AA, there's no way we are expecting that when we do the test for you, you should be AS.
Then there's something wrong.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's definitely something you just don't pick up. We get it from our parents. It's a genetic makeup of the two coming together to give birth to us. That's how we go about it.
So it means when an AS person and an AS person meet and they have a child, there's a high percentage that their child will either have AS or become SS.
Yes. So there's a 50% chance that you can be AS. Wow. Because my mother is AS, my father is AS. I can be AS or another AS. They can give birth, like 50% chance. There's also a 25% chance that I can be AA. Because my mother has an A, my father also has an A. So I can also be A. Then there's another 25% chance that the S from my mother can pair with the S from my father, and I would have S's.
So there's no guarantee?
No. And so it's more like a probability thing, left to chance.
Right.
Unless something happens.
And it's with every pregnancy. You can't say that, oh, my first child is SS, so I've already given birth to my SS. So my next one is
so you can give birth to 4 and they will all pick the SS. You can give birth to 4, they can all pick the AA. You can give birth to 4, they can all pick the AS.
So we shouldn't risk it.
It's just a lot.
Yeah, we shouldn't risk it. Interesting. I'll come to you, Madam Ada. Do you have something to add before we go into the story?
I think I understand certain things better now.
Okay.
I am lucky AA.
Same.
But I had a sister. My late sister was SS. So now I'm getting to understand that it means my mom was AS and my dad AS.
Wow.
We were not lucky. Their second born was SS, and we lost her about 34 years ago. She was just 16.
Oh, no.
Yes. So now I think with her explanations, I get it better. But I was so excited the day I checked, I think about 15 years back when I went to do it. I went to Nyaho and they gave me my results. And I was AA. I said, hooray. So I can sleep, close my eyes and just pick a man. That is if not even SS or even if SS.
Yes, if
I think I'll be safe.
You are just on the safer side because you are 100% sure you're going to give birth to just
either AS
throughout. That's the only, because if the person is SS, that's the only thing the person has, and you have AA. So if there's A moving from here, it is definitely going to pick an S. A moves from here, it's going to pick an S. At every point in time, you're going to pick an S.
It's good to know. I remember before, you know, we do these tests. I'd done it before I got married, but just before I got married, they asked us to do it. And I knew I was AA, so I didn't care what he was, right? And I went to do the test, and his came out, and it was AA. And I remember the lab guy telling us that we are two selfish people getting together. We should bring somebody from the other side, but that's just on the lighter note. But let me come to you, Madam Ada. What's your general take on this story? What's going through your mind?
A lot, you know, because looking at living with an SS patient, it's not a joke. It can take your everything away. Growing up, you know, anytime my sister had crisis, the whole house goes quiet until she gets back from Kolebu. You know, my dad was the type who loved education. But I tell you, the moment my sister goes on admission, no coin leaves the house for anything. Because he would just tell us that, what if I give you the money and I get to the hospital and I'm asked to buy a medicine and I'm left with just 1 CD, of which I've given to you. Are we going to lose her? But at the end of the day, we lost her. She had a friend who was also SS, classmate. But when my sister passed at 16, she lived on, we're in the same neighborhood, she was 21. So the mother, anytime they see us, it's like, so is Regina also going to go away? But then she lived on, and the father was so protective. The father didn't want any man to come close to her because he says, I don't want to lose my daughter. We've lost contact for years, so I don't even know where she is. But it's no joke. Actually, it's no joke. When I heard the story, it's like, no, to save yourself, else you'll be in trouble. I met a parent. They were rich kids. She said growing up, you know, these naughty rich kids. So when they got AS, their parents told them not to continue with the relationship. They just eloped to America stayed there for 2 years, got married, and came back and told their parents, we are married, so there is nothing you can do about it. Their first child, SS. Their second child, SS. And they got 2 boys. The third girl was, I think, AS. So I was teaching this boy. And today, the boy will come. There is no week that passes by that there is not an incident. He will pass out. He will feel cold, so we have to call home. And the woman said it's her biggest regret, because now she has all the money, but she can't live her life.
Yeah.
Because you can be on vacation and you'll be called that your son is on admission, and you say that, okay, you take care of him, I will. No. Today, she gets to the hospital. By the time they get back, the second one is also in crisis. Oh, so it's not a good feeling. Yeah. It's not, no, we shouldn't joke with that. There is the God factor. People will say God is there, yes. But when you know it, don't. No matter how much you've gone deep into the relationship, I will say that don't go there. Else, you will live the rest of your life thinking you have kids, you're going to be happy. If you get this one. But there is a possibility, as she said, you might not get it. But with my mathematics, you just know that if you're not lucky, you can get 3 straight. As she said, what can you do? If you are working for somebody, you go to work and every day you have to come home because you're coming to take care of your child. You have a business. Are you going to leave your business because every day? And when they are not dead, you cannot leave them. No. When you are giving prescription, you have to take care of it. My sister had the best doctor. I still remember Dr. Mustafa, one of the best doctors in Kolibu. But anytime we get there, he will give us all the attention. But she couldn't stay on. So I think this lady should just look at it again. Again, no matter what.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, let me come to you, Margaret. I've heard, when we get to the bridge, we'll cross. We love each other so much, we cannot afford not to be together. Love conquers it all. Does love really conquer it all when it comes to knowing?
Medically, it doesn't. Because a lot goes into the healthcare process, the caregiving for somebody who was that sick. And you see, in conditions like this, you don't really prepare for the person to get sick. It's not like we plan that you should get sick every April because that's my break from work or from school. No, it just happens. And as a parent, if you should see your child go through so much pain, especially when they're in the crisis state where they are having joint pains, they are severely anemic and all those things, it puts you in a state of discomfort as a caregiver of that patient. And so for any day you remember or you tell yourself or get to know that I brought this person, I knew about this and I brought this person still into this world, it causes you so much pain. And so medically, looking at it, and these souls do not deserve to die.
No, they don't.
They do not deserve to die. And so for us to bring them into this world and see them go through this suffering and still die, it's a lot that we don't have to risk.
I agree. I completely agree. And it's the way, you see, there are certain things that you can avoid. And this is one of them.
Exactly.
It's all in your control to say, you know what, I'm not going to subject any fetus, any child to this. But for our selfish reasons, we go into the marriage or the relationship, we get pregnant, and it happens. It's rather unfortunate. But with technology, is it possible to be AS, both of you, or SS? And no, SS is out because you definitely are. But is it possible to be AS, the both of you, get pregnant and check if your baby is going to be SS? Is it possible to check your fetus before?
So now, yes, it is.
Okay.
But it is cost intensive. It takes a lot to get that done. So now with the advances in technology and medicine, we have what we call the pre-implantation genetic testing, where when a woman chooses to go through IVF, before the embryo is implanted into the woman, we can do genetic testing on the viable embryos to see which ones are AS, which ones are AA, which ones are SS. So when we know, then if these ones are SS, we don't implant them into the woman. So we can do that before the implantation process. But remember, that is cost intensive. We really need a lot of money. Or naturally, if you should go through the natural process and conceive, I think within some weeks, you can do a particular test where they would use a syringe to take some blood sample, a sample from the child, the fetus, and then test to also see if it's AS, SS. So if it's SS, then you have to go ahead and abort, terminate the pregnancy, and then start all over again.
I think to put yourself, let's say you conceive naturally, and then you find out that your child is carrying the sickle cell disease, and you're saying doctor abort, and then the next one is the same doctor abort.
Exactly. So you'd have to go through that. So now for those that are AS that will still want to go ahead with marriage, if you do the testing, you would be advised to see a genetic counselor.
Yeah.
And the genetic counselor can talk you people through these different methods that are available, and then see if you can go ahead and do any of them if you want to give birth. So if you are choosing IVF like this, then you can go a step ahead and do the genetic testing before implantation. But if there's no money available,
well, how can you
please don't try.
And the majority of us that do not, funny enough, a majority of us that are walking around that have no idea of our genotypes, we are with the populace. We are with the general. We don't have the 10% money.
So true.
We don't. The majority of us are the normal people figuring life out. We don't have money to go and give and do that. So let's just. Is the test expensive to check?
No, it is not. So you can walk into a hospital facility and then say you want to do HB electrophoresis. Okay. When you hopefully no more than 200 cedis or maximum 200 cedis, you should be able to do the test, and it will tell you your sickling status, if you are AA, if you are AS, if you have SC, whatever you have, it will tell you.
And if you cannot pronounce the big word that Margaret just used, just walk in there and say you want to do a sickle cell
exactly
test.
Exactly.
Okay, so now let's come to the issue of this abortion. Madam Ada, this girl, 6 abortions, 24. 6 abortions, and I'm sure she started abortions before she was 24, because she said it's been 4 years in the marriage, in the relationship. It's not even in the relationship. And every time the man who is 34, 10 years a senior, who appears to be doing okay, is asking for abortion. What do you think is going on here? What sort of relationship is this? Does he really even love her?
I think right from the start, there is a problem with this relationship. What was the girl's motive? Was it because the gentleman had money, or she wanted something the gentleman was having, so she just went into it? Because if you look at the age difference, this man is aging. Why would you get pregnant and he will just say, take it off? Exactly. There is something wrong with that. So at what age is he planning to start making babies? You are 34. You have 26 years to start your pension. So even if your firstborn is you are giving your firstborn at the 34, by pension, your firstborn is 26. And now you are taking the firstborn off. And I think this period is, this 6 abortions is not happening in 1 year. If, even this 4 years, it means the man is also growing, aging, and the girl is also coming. One, the man is not serious with her. No serious, there are issues, there are circumstances. But looking at the age gap, it tells you there is something really wrong. You are thinking A, the man is thinking B. I know matured men, if there is that gap, even if they are not ready to marry, they will tell you, would you like to keep it? Yes. I'm not ready to marry you, but we can still have our baby. The mothers will come in as a mistake, and we don't want to commit the second error by taking it off. So let's stay on. You have the baby, even if we are not married. Have the baby. I have a child with you. We are moving on. So that if really we will get married when I'm 40, you are 40 and you are married, you have your baby. What's wrong with that? But it means that there is something the man is not telling this girl. And this girl is also holding on to something the man doesn't even know. For all you know, he takes care of her, he provides her with whatever you want. But why put yourself through? Look at what she said. A part of her goes away. What if God has given you 6 children and you've taken all away? What do? Or you give birth. The next time you give birth, you see how beautiful this baby is. Does it mean you've thrown these beautiful 6 of them away?
So I'm sure her AA was probably in there.
Exactly.
Exactly. And now you're going to stay, and if you are not lucky, by the time this man is okay, I'll take you on. Now the SS is going to come.
You don't know.
Then you are going to suffer. you carry the guilt along. Plus now this SS. Now you sit down and try to do your calculations. Is it that the first child was A? I shouldn't have taken that off, and I shouldn't. Will just put you through so much. So I think right from the start there is something wrong with this relationship. The girl should just decide for herself.
Yeah.
Just decide, because you know one day if you mention this, anybody will say that the man did not force you to abort. He will tell you abort and let's move on.
Yeah.
If you're a woman enough, you say no, I am keeping this child. There are a lot of single mothers. They've made the mistake, but their children have been a blessing to them. Yeah. And our parents are there. Definitely, even if everybody throws you away, there will be that one family member who will accept you and then take care of you or be with you. So I think this lady is just throwing her life away little by little, and she has to sit up.
I agree with you. And Margaret, I don't know if you have something to add to what Madam Ada said, but my question to you would have to be, so she found out the man was AS, and then she quickly went to do the test. Smart choice. I'm sure when I got there, I was like, okay, great. Thinking that she was coming to do some great thing only for her to say, oh, and I found out and I started lying. Do you think that, first of all, I don't think this relationship has a future, but she is thinking that she's protecting it by lying, so that the man will not let her go because he doesn't know she's AS. Do you think, first of all, there's a future for this relationship and the lies that they all keep, you know, building? I'm sure the man is probably having children somewhere, probably has a wife somewhere, because I don't understand how you can watch the woman that you claim you love go through 6 abortions and you keep saying, oh, I'm not ready. And there's nothing showing that you're not ready. You're working, you have your own place, you have your own, you work, you have a job. What is going on here?
So for me, I think the relationship has actually ended in the man's mind or in the man's world because he truly wanted to be with you. After 1 abortion, after 2, till 6, he's still not ready and still having unprotected sex with you. It really is questionable.
And she says, I tell him to protect himself.
And he doesn't. So he doesn't. And you also keep giving him room to do the same thing to you when you know that for every abortion, you are the one that has to go through the healing process. Yeah. Every time, you are the one that has to go through the healing process. And I think that for every relationship, whatever, be it casual, be it a mutual one, emotional one, whatever relationships we find ourselves in, if they are built on lies, they do not last. Yeah. Transparency and being honest with each other goes a long way. Maybe not now, but still to save the face of our relationships in every facet of life that we find ourselves. So if you know you are AS, and then the man is AS, and you think you have aborted maybe 2 or 3 times for that man, and so you think you should stay, really it's a big deal.
It's a big deal.
It really is a big deal, because the more you stay, the more you find reasons to stay and never to walk out. Yes. But in the process of staying, you are still hurting yourself each and every time. You have to go through that same process again. Yeah. And it's unfortunate that she can attest to the fact that she loses a part of herself all the time, but comes back to lose another part.
Yeah. And it's sad because, you know, usually I wouldn't even advise someone who is well advanced in age to do this, but usually it's women that feel like, oh, I'm well advanced in age, where am I going to start from, that would say, let me stay in this situation. But a 24-year-old girl, I don't like you said, maybe the man is giving her something.
Exactly. There is more to it. She's getting something she feels nobody can give her, but hey, you want to lie about it. This lie is not going to be with her alone. At least there is one person in this world who also knows the truth. And you know, we are not, I tell people, we don't have, I'm not a memory card to be keeping all these. One day I'll just say it, and then it will come out. So someday the truth will definitely come out one day. But what are you doing to yourself? You're going to lie to stay. As Margaret said, this relationship has ended for the man. The man has seen that maybe you are in for this. He will provide you that. You can stay. But for me, I have my life and I'm going. And one day, you are going to lose your womb. This man can get another woman pregnant. And you're going to regret. It's going to be worse than how you feel. You've seen that you are AS. He's AS. At least if you are enlightened a little bit on this, you will know that there is a possibility this is going to happen. Why not even take the opportunity of this genotype that you know to walk away?
Yeah.
No matter if you cannot, let's say there's 6 abortions, just use it and say that, okay, it's enough. I don't want to lie. Whatever you are giving, because I know we don't have only one good man in this world. There are good men out there. So the man you see, you think is the best in the whole world, there is another copy somewhere. So when you walk away, you will definitely meet that one man. That will even give you something more than what you think this man is. It's like guilty conscience. So you think, the man will get to know and say that, no, I will also not want to take this risk and go through, because I have a friend who has a child with SS, and I can't bear that trouble. So now I got to know, walk away. Then where do you start? By then maybe you are 28, 29, 30. Because even if you should make a baby with this man, you will have crisis. You know, the funny thing is, when you watch these stories and all that, definitely one day crisis will come, a test to be done, and then the truth will come out.
You know, she's not even thinking beyond.
You know, you will feel it more than the man. Let's assume you have SS child. When you go to the hospital, the man can tell you the bills must be paid. So let me go to work. You stay in the hospital with the child. All the emotions and everything, you are the one going to go through. The child will be there. You will see that your child looks very frail, and you are seeing it. All you do is pick a phone and call. He says, no, hold on, I'm bringing money to pay the bills. You will bear all the emotions. Why deceive yourself? Walk away. You will get equally a man who is very good, but AA. And then, you know, but what I tell people is sometimes we leave the God factor out when we are doing our calculations. We think that we've mapped up everything. So if I leave this man, another man hears I've done 6 abortions, I can't get another man. You've drawn your plan, leaving God out. I've heard of stories of women doctors who say they don't have womb, they've made babies. So what makes you think your case is so worse that God cannot step in? So she's just worrying herself, staying on the wrong bus. The longer you stay, your return tickets will be more expensive. So get down now, and then you can even walk back home. And then you just heal yourself and move on.
Absolutely, I agree. And it's so funny that she thinks she's lying, because if, let's say, she gets pregnant again and the man says, oh, let's keep it, this one I want to keep it, and the baby is AS, the truth has come out.
Exactly. How would you explain that?
I was also looking at it from the point that after doing the test, she could have told the man that she was also AS. And then maybe, probably by reading and then researching about it, they could have gone in for all the other methods that are available if they finally decide to get married. So now you save yourself from the abortion, and then there's honesty in the relationship. And so if the man is like, both of us are AS and I don't want to go ahead with it, if it's just 2 abortions at that time, you walk out. If you still want to go ahead, knowing that you both are AS and want to use the natural method of conception and everything, you still go ahead. And now, it's not like you are the only one bearing the guilt of lies. We are all in this together. But if you should keep it, and then like Auntie Ada said, map up your life and know that there's no way out. You can't return. You have to just be with this man because you've done 6 abortions. You will stay until the time when the guilt takes you over your whole life, and before we know it, you can even commit suicide.
I know, right? On that note, we'd have to go for a quick break. When we come back, we are going to delve more into the story. We are going to look at is it an issue of false hope? Is she finding it difficult to forgive herself? Is that why she's staying? And also the God factor. We'll be right back. You're not going away. This is Real Talk.
In Tamale, many live with silent pain, waiting for a miracle. From August 4th to 8th, that miracle arrives. Join us at the Dakwema Palace Forecourt for the Healing Hearts Medical Mission. 5 days of free medical care brought to you by Hope Channel Ghana, United Service to Africa, and partners. Enjoy services like health screenings, eye and cataract surgeries, dental care, diabetes and hypertension checks, counseling, medication, and more. Absolutely free. Need surgery? Pre-book now at the Tamale SDA Hospital from July 1st to August 1st. Call 0246 012 655 or 0244 900 931 for details. Healing Hearts 2025, because Jesus still heals.
Welcome back. We are still in the studios of Hope TV Ghana, coming your way with Real Talk. We are live on Facebook and YouTube, Hope TV Ghana. So join us then. Let's stream live together. I am in the studio here with Mrs. Margaret Addo, who is a senior medical laboratory scientist at the Gbawe Hospital. Miss Ada Kona, she is an educationist and a cyber security analyst. And today we are talking about the very interesting story on genotype mixed with abortion, mixed with fake love. There's a whole lot in the studio. If you just joined us, you've missed quite a bit, but it's not too late to catch up and learn as we go. So before we went on the break, we spoke about genotype. We spoke about what it means if you're AAAS, SS, SC, and the implications on the partner that you choose and the children that you have. And we've also looked at why this woman keeps getting abortions upon abortions, 6 abortions. She met this guy at the age of 24. The guy is 34. Anytime she gets pregnant, he says, I'm not ready. He's crying, abort, and she's done this 6 times. Now she finds out that the guy says he's AS. She goes to do a test, finds out that she's also AS, but decides to stay. Because after 6 abortions, who is going to have me? And so I'd rather stay in here. And we all die together, literally, is what she's saying. So let's look at the emotional and spiritual aspect of abortion. I can't imagine. She clearly said, a part of me, I feel a part of me is dead. I'll come to you with the medical background, Margaret. What does abortion do to the body? And in this case, 6 abortions in the span of 4 years.
So it takes a big toll on the body. Even looking at it from the hemoglobin level, each time a woman menstruates, we lose some blood.
Yeah.
So imagine having to form a fetus, and that fetus has to leave the body. A lot of blood leaves the body. So I am imagining her hemoglobin level by now,
I'm sure she's
especially
like she's a walking.
I'm telling you, especially after going through 6 different abortions, and within a short time span of 4 years, having to do that for 6 times, I really think it has taken a toll on her body, her blood level, and also as a woman who also goes through the menstrual cycle every month, coupled with going through these abortions. I really think that it has taken a big toll on her medically, and that's not a pleasant one at all.
Do you think it is the emotional trauma that is making her not think straight? Because clearly, if you read the story, she doesn't sound like somebody who is thinking clear. She sounds like she's all over the place. She sounds like she's confused. She sounds like she doesn't know what she's doing with her life. Is there an issue of emotional trauma? Is she going through some sort of mental episode here that we can't see?
Well, emotional trauma would be there, but I also think that it has a part of her upbringing also is involved in there.
Okay.
You see, when we grow up with self-worth, when you understand who you are, naturally your worth as a human being, as a woman, it guides you in a lot of things, especially in your growing up ages when you're supposed to make life-changing decisions.
Right.
It really helps, because if I know that I am important to my own self, not to any other person, but I matter to myself, the decisions I make, the steps I take, I am going to take that into consideration to ask myself, is it really going to be in my favor? Because that is what the man is doing. The man is doing everything in his favor. So you ask yourself that, whatever I'm also doing, is it in my favor? And if we are not able to understand our worth and be able to ask those questions for ourselves, before we know it, we will lose ourselves and we will do things that would make every other person happy except ourselves.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. Madam Ada, I would ask, do you think this man is manipulating this girl?
Exactly. Whatever it is, whatever hold this man has on this girl is so strong.
Yeah.
For you know, she can break off that. And you know, if you are not lucky and you get friends who are weak like you, they will advise you to stay on. You know, sometimes it's the friends you have, they also play a role.
Yeah.
You tell them and they say, don't go. If you go, who will marry you? But the point is, if I get another man and I don't tell you I've had 6 abortions, how would you read it? If I'm the only one or there are few people who know. It is when I tell before you know. And for you know, a miracle could happen for you. But whatever hold this man, that's why I'm saying, as she said, self-worth. At your age, I don't know her educational level. I don't know what she's up to in life. But if you are working, you have work to do, you are focused, you earn something. What at all will this man, because there are people who in this country, they don't even earn 100 cities at the end of the month. There are people who don't earn that, but they are living.
Yeah.
So what are you earning that you think that this month's money or whatever this man is giving you is what is making your life? Believe in yourself and then raise your head up. That's why I'm saying sometimes, you know, these days we go to school and we pick some of these trends from friends. Yeah. So if you don't fall into a good group, or for, you know, these friends who are saying they are benefiting from whatever you are gaining. True. So they are pushing you on, not for your good, but for themselves. So if the man is manipulating you to the extent that you can have 6 abortions, that is serious. What at all can a man give you that if you want to work out, or one man gives you that when you move to another man, he cannot give you? That he has to get you through this. I know those who even go under CS to give birth. I know surgery makes you weaker. The more surgeries you have, the weaker your body itself becomes. So let's take it that this man, anytime you lose all this, he will get you all the blood tonics so that you will feel in and then bounce back. So people will not even see you growing. But then the guilt you carry, what are you doing to yourself? This man will sleep and sleep off. But what about, it is you that you feel it and you think you are throwing your babies away. And you know, God created all of us with 2 babies, 1 baby, 3 babies. So somebody can have 6 abortions and still even make 10 babies.
Oh, yes.
Somebody will have just 1 abortion and that's all. You don't know your status.
Yeah.
You don't know what God has given to you. So why would you want to risk the first one? You've done 1, you've done 2. You could have, hey, sat back and say, why? You have friends who are not going through that. So why is it that my case is different? Why is it that I have a friend who is, when she gets pregnant, or I see somebody who is pregnant, giving birth, you hear is a single mother. Nothing is wrong with the person. Yeah. But you will want to throw yours away. That woman is moving on to take care of that child. So you can also do same. So why would you go on and let this, if really this man, I don't think it's just the man who is manipulating. I think the lady is in for something. And maybe the man has even seen that. So if that is what you want, I'll give it to you, but you do what I want. Yeah. Because I don't think this man will take you for all the 6 abortions. Normally, they don't even follow you. They don't go. They will just tell you, go here and do it, or they give you the money. Sort yourself out. You come and you lie down and you cry. Yeah. They prepare breakfast for you, and then the story is over.
Even if they do.
Then that story is, for the first few weeks, they will just pamper you for you to think. The next minute, they come again and do that. So I think this girl is either not in the good circle of friends around her, they are not influencing her well, or I won't say there is mental, no, the emotional aspect will come because, you know, you see people having their own children playing around, even if they don't have what to eat. They play with the joy that it gives them, and you losing all that. She should get hold of herself and then put her things together. Tell the man, hey, AS,
what do we do? Because this man who is making you throw it away, even when he doesn't know that you are his, not to talk of now that you will know that you are his, he will just chase you just like that.
Right.
So what are you doing with this man? You are lucky you are not even in a 30. If she started at 24 and it's 4 years, let's assume she's now 28. The man is 38. 28. What are you waiting for in one man who is just doing this to your life? Just move on. And then God being so good, you deal with yourself and God will have mercy on you.
It's true. And I there's this thing that I was talking about just last week about patterns and how God will keep teaching you the same thing over and over until you get it. You know how sometimes you make certain decisions and then you see the consequences and you don't learn from it. And for some weird reason, that same situation will play again in your face to see if you're going to make a different choice. But for this girl, 6 times, she keeps making the same choice over and over. I'm sure God is looking at her at this point. What am I supposed to do to do this one for her to learn some lesson? It's serious. But let's talk about how she can heal. Like what would you tell this girl right now, Margaret, and how she can get out of this situation and the steps she can take to heal and heal properly? Because she can walk out and she can be damaged because of what she has been through. So how does she get herself out, first of all, and what are some of the things she has to do to heal properly?
Okay, so I think true healing starts with acknowledging the pain we are going through. Acknowledging that you have had to lose a bit of yourself for 6 different times whilst you are still alive. Yes. And when we acknowledge that we have gone through such pain, then we can find room to start to heal. So in this lady's case, I think that maybe before this man, she had not met somebody who had introduced her to the family before, because in the story, she said that 6 months into the relationship, the man introduced her to the family and all that. But if you understand that there are other good men out there, like Auntie Ada said, you are going to meet somebody that won't just introduce you to her family, the family, but will take you to the world, all over the world. Then you will know that then I have to gather myself, pray for grace, and then move on with life. Hoping to meet somebody better, hoping that life will bring your way somebody that will acknowledge you and treat you like a human being that you are. Because in as much as the man was being manipulative, the lady was also enabling the man. Because if he should tell me to abort and I don't,
what can he do?
What can he do?
He can't do anything.
Exactly. So if you should do it the first time, the second time, the man knows that get pregnant, abort. That's a cycle.
True.
So if we want to heal, we have to first acknowledge that we have gone through so much pain, enormous pain, and then pray for grace to heal. And then medically, you would also want to seek for help, speak to a therapist, somebody that can help you go through this phase. Because talking to human beings or people that have even gone through what you have gone through, they're just going to share with you their personal experience and how they were able to go through it. But when you speak to a therapist, an authority in that area, they're able to give you guidelines, how to move on, how your new normal is going to be like, how you are going to recover from the hurt and everything. When you decide to part ways with a person, you would get the help you needed to be able to go through all of this. But in the face of that, prayer is also very needed. You need to pray to God. Because you know, one thing the devil does when some of these things happen is that they make us think we are not worthy of the Lord's grace. We are not worthy of the Lord's love. But in the face of that, the Lord's arms are always open, willing to accept us back any day, anytime. And when we come, He's going to make our lives better than it was. That is what the Lord does for us when we come back. He gives us a new slate to write our own story all over again. And then we are not limited as to how many pages we can write our story on. It's a fresh slate. And then we can do all the drawings, all the writings like we want.
Absolutely. I completely agree. And you know, this thing that you say about doubting how far or how much God loves us. Usually, there's this channel that I listen to, Better Together. It's a Christian channel and on YouTube. And they talk about how sometimes we forget that God's grace is literally chasing us.
Exactly.
It's like it's following us. I am here, I am here, I am here. And sometimes we do not even have the ability to see to know that he's here for us, even at our lowest points. Look at the woman that they brought before Christ and said, the adulterous woman. And then he said, which one of you? I'm sure when they were bringing her at this point, she said, you know, because then you can't accuse, you have to have caught the person in the act. So I'm sure she knew she had done it, and they had caught her in the act, and they had brought her, and she was going to be condemned. And I can imagine the surprise, the relief, and the wonder when Christ asked, which one of you, and when they realized everybody had left the room. I'm sure she then thought, I am not the only one in this. Like, we are all sinning. You know, sometimes you're so consumed with your own guilt that you think you are the worst person in the world. You sit in the guilt and you move so far away from God. I'm sure this girl is thinking 6 abortions. If I don't stay here, nobody will take me, or let me stay here and suffer. And Madam, what will you tell this girl in this state right now? Like, how can she get out? How can she heal properly? How can she come to the realization that, yes, she's made some mistakes, but that's not the end of her life. There's a God that created her that loves her. When I read through, I kept asking, where's her mother? Where's her mother? Because she feels like she doesn't even know what love is. She doesn't understand the concept love. So she sees this behavior of the man as love. Oh, he cries, he must love me. He's begging me, he must love me. I don't know, there's something deeper going on here with her.
Yes, you know, and when you read John 8:32, he says, then you will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. She should accept that all these, she shouldn't play a blame game. She should forget about the man. She should accept that it's her fault. Because if she said, no, I'm not taking it off, and I'll tell your mother, or I'll tell my mother. But I think she tells no one, so the man knows that, okay, we are keeping it safe. Nobody knows. Because if, I don't think any mother, even if the gentleman's mother should hear that you've had 1, 2 abortions, my son is making you do this, and will accept that. No. If the man will not marry you, there are some women who will tell you, you know, my son is joking with you, just go. Go get another man. My son is just playing with you. Or just give birth. If he doesn't want the baby, it's my grandchild, I'll take the baby. Your mother will tell you, that's all, you are all I have. You've made the mistake. So she should accept the truth that she's made a mistake. You know, there is this relief in when you admit that what I did was my fault. That's the first thing. You know, you don't blame anybody, you blame yourself. Then you pray about it. I tell myself, it's not every sin that you have to even tell somebody. There are some, if you tell someone, it will make you worse. She should pray. She should start praying. You know, sometimes you feel the gravity of the sin is so much that God cannot forgive you. She should just believe that God will forgive her. Even if she feels she has to cry to God for 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, 1 year, to think that that is not even enough for God, she should keep crying to God. One day, she will feel better. You know, there is this thing, the little I know is, sometimes when I feel so down, I feel like crying. I pray and I cry. And by the time I'm done, I sleep like, sometimes I sleep like a baby. You know, I just fall down and I sleep. And I wake up and I see nothing has happened.
So refreshed.
I mean, exactly. You know, so just cry to God. If you think you don't believe anyone again and she cannot tell anyone, she should cry to God in her own closet. She should keep crying till she feels these tears, they are okay for God to forgive me. And she should believe in herself. You know, she's so strong to have gone through 6 abortions. So she's stronger than that. She should believe in herself, focus on herself. Now, there are a lot of things around. There are a lot of skills. You even go on YouTube and you can learn a lot of things on your own. She should just put herself in something. Occupy herself with something. Get herself busy. And then at the end of the day, when she's retiring, she prays to God. She moves on. God is always ever ready to accept us. Absolutely. You know, as you said, Mary Magdalene, I always try to imagine how she was when they said, we are taking you to Jesus. For them to throw her down with her shame and everything. So this lady should ask herself, where is that man who was with her? The man didn't come along. Now you are alone. The same way she should see herself alone and plead for herself and walk away. You know, this man is not worth even you.
Yeah, he's not.
This man is not. What at all will you do for your parent to scold you compared to what this man is doing to you? And you know, now things have changed so much that because of the food we are eating and all these medical stuffs running around, things are so glaring in our faces than before. At first, when you have headache, you know it's headache. You take painkiller, you are gone. Now, when you have headache, there is more to it.
Yes.
You go and they will tell you it's not just headache. It is something from your feet that is giving you the headache. So she should just put the pieces together and face, like, she should just be the strong woman that she's been to go through this 6. And I say God still listens to prayers.
Yeah, he does.
You know, God still, sometimes you don't even pray for the day. You don't even pray much, but things that come your way, you will think that then somebody might have prayed for me. People will pray for her. I believe she has parents, she has a family member who even looks up to her, not knowing this is what she's going through. She should just believe in herself, tell herself the truth, and then forge ahead. And God will forgive her. God still forgives.
He does. He absolutely does. Our time is fast spent. So, Margaret, I want you to speak to the young women out there on self-love. Very quickly.
I think our generation, we are seeking for love that we can't even give to ourselves. And so we should first off give the love we want other people to give to us. We should give it to ourselves. And so when I love myself enough, any love I receive from anyone else comes to add up to what I am actually giving to myself.
Right.
And so if we don't love ourselves, any other thing that somebody does for us, we think it is extreme and that we are undeserving of it, and so we would want to stay. So let us love ourselves. Let us find worth in ourselves as a human. And when we're able to do that, any other thing around us, any other thing someone does for us, adds up to what we are already doing for ourselves. And in that way, we are able to see clearly what people, their intentions for us and how they want to move to us. Either than that, we will take anything, all in the name of love. When it has nothing, there are parallel lines to love. They don't meet, but we will think that is love for us. So we really need to have self-worth.
Absolutely, I agree. Madam Ada, finally, love.
What you don't have, you can't give what you don't have.
True.
If I want to give you 10 cedis, it means at least I should have, even if I don't have at all, I should have that 10 cedis to give.
And 50 pesos.
Even if it's just 10, I want to give you all. So she should just love herself. Everybody, as Margaret said, love who you are. We can never be the same. If you want to compare, you are making a big mistake. In this, there is grace, but you don't know the kind of grace God has for the other person. So why would I want to compare my grace to yours?
Right.
We all face love, but then we have it in different ways. Some will have 10 cedis a day. I will have 5 cedis a day. Let me live within my 5 cedis. Live within your 10 cedis. Maybe one day I will blast to 50 cedis. So we should just focus, as we want to give to others, let's give to ourselves. Have a feel of what it is. Let's eat that food we want to serve others. If it's nice, then you can give to someone. But if you don't love yourself, how do you go love somebody? And that is what Margaret said. So anything anybody throws at you, you will think that it is love. For all you know, they are coming in for their own selfish gains. So let's focus on ourselves first. And when we have it, we can give and appreciate the little others will give to us.
Absolutely, absolutely. It's been a great discussion. Thank you so much, Mrs. Margaret Ado and Miss Adakona. It's been a wonderful discussion. I'm sure we've all learned a lot. I have learned a lot. And I think the final thing I'd like to say to conclude what you ladies have beautifully said is that before you recognize what love is, you must know it. And so if you do not know it, how would you know that this is love? And you would only know it when you love yourself. And you know, the Bible even says it, love your neighbor as thyself. It never says go around and be loving people. It says as yourself. So you need to love yourself in order to love your neighbor. If you don't love yourself, how can you love your neighbor? You'll be lying to yourself and you'll be accepting anything that anybody will bring your way. And for this young woman, please walk out. Walk out, leave the relationship, leave the man. He does not love you. He does not want you. He does not want anything from you. He doesn't even want your children. And so what are you staying in there for? Please walk out, find the help, walk out. Your genotype is AS. What, and so is that the end of the world? People with sickle cell disease itself are living and thriving and doing wonderful things in this part of the world. I have a personal friend, she's SC. She is doing great things. She has her baby, she has her husband, and they are all thriving and surviving. So why are you stuck there? Please move. You are not a tree. Move from that situation. And you will only see what God has in store for you if you've left. You can't keep staying in that dungeon and expect that God will come and literally pull you from it. You would have to walk out. And I pray that you have the grace to do that. And for this young man, the only thing I'll tell you is shame on you. 34 years, 6 abortions. Shame on you. I don't know. For you to pray and ask for forgiveness, because there's something worrying you. There's something going on with you. It's either you have emotional trauma as well, or you have trauma from your past. But whatever it is, I pray that you also find healing.
Amen.
Yes, we'll be back same time next week with another interesting conversation. Some of the stories are quite emotional when we hear them, and we want to just speak our minds, but we have to go. And so we'll be back same time next week with another story. You're also welcome to share your story with us, just as this lady has done. Reach out to us on our Facebook and say you want to share your story with us, and our team will meet you, get your story, and we'll find the right people to have the right conversation. This is Real Talk. We'll be back same time next week. Until then, continue to enjoy the rest of the content on Hope TV Ghana.